There's not gonna be any sound on it.
Boy, good breathing.
I stopped breathing too.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is the Blue Collar Bros podcast. This is episode, who knows, probably like 7 now, 6 or 7.
Yeah, something.
We got one of my favorite people, Joe Lovell. Is it Lavelle or Lovell?
Lovell. Yeah,
Joe Lovell. I call him Lavelle.
We say love and 2 L's on it.
Owner of the Fresh Experience here in Struthers, Ohio, a barbershop, or not barbershop,
Hair design.
and
Cosmetology.
the whole experience.
The whole experience.
Hence the name.
Yes.
So why don't you give us a little intro about yourself, name, like where'd you grow up?
Yeah. So I'm local to Struthers. My name's Joe Lovell. I am local to Struthers. I have grown in the hair industry over the last 4 years. I graduated out of Cassell's Aveda Institute roughly 4 years ago. This being actually our 4th year of owning the shop, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's been a constant drive to find a way to work for ourselves, you know what I mean? And when you get into the booth rental side, you see that, you know, life is a little different. You know what I mean? You kind of find time to be more valuable in the aspect of money, you know what I mean? So, but that's been, you know, a big factor in our life, you know, is the grind for the fresh, you know what I mean?
So let's start out. This is your second shop, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The first shop was just a rental. This is something we actually own.
And much smaller.
The first shop, yes, just 3 chairs.
Yeah. 3 chairs, more like almost a hallway.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And this is, we'll take some shots of this after and post it. But how many chairs do you have here?
We have 7 chairs, but we have 8 people on our team. One of the girls that is on the team, she is like a roamer, so she just, you know, the part-time side of it helps with the booth rental. So, you know, the one lady doesn't book heavily on Saturdays and the other lady's off on Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it works for the other girl to use their chair.
Now, do you count your wife's chair in that?
Yes, because we are a working entity of our business.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If we were, you know, blessed to be able to stay at home and not do anything and just make money, you know, we would then not count ourselves. But we do count ourselves as a working entity in the business.
And tell everybody what your wife does for the most part.
She does lash extensions, everything hair. She's been going at it for roughly probably about 16 years at this point. A little bit of my growing side of life was I was a store manager of Dollar General, and I absolutely hated life. You know what I mean? I was 450 pounds at the time. I decided that, you know, one day after work, I had a bad day at work. I come home, got in an argument with my wife, and it was more the side of I can't stand working for retail. I need to figure out something else in life.
Yeah.
And you know, she seen more of my personality and the trait of how her industry works. You know what I mean? To me, I didn't understand that at the time. But that was a growing side of our life, you know, where she said, you know, in the argument was, I'm quitting my job. I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I hate it, blah, 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 you know. And she's just firing back, and it turned into, you know, her saying, why don't you just go be a barber? You know what I mean? Why don't you go do hair? You have such a good personality. And, you know, that triggered, you know, that was the start of something where, you know, for me in this industry, my brother wanted to do hair, you know what I mean? So that was like a side of, you know, my brother had passed, so it was like a learning how to grieve in his honor rather than in his loss.
Yeah, with your story, everything is kind of intertwined.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Yeah, your journey, everything kind of builds from one thing to another. Yeah. So I wanted to. My wife, same way. She worked at a couple places, and you know, management changed to really make like life hell, and started to hate it. So. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
I feel like men can disconnect a little bit more.
Right.
My wife would constantly just worry about work the next day. Like she couldn't disconnect from that. So everything was worried about like, I don't even want to go in tomorrow. I don't want to go in Monday. Right. So her whole life was consumed with kind of just being unhappy with
absolutely.
Like
debilitating.
And that energy really rolls into the people you love too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything, it just, you know, kind of like comes out of you, but you don't even expect it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's was a random situation how we found it all. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you kind of touched on this, but when was the actual moment you decided to go to? Did you go to cosmetology school?
Yeah. I did
Okay.
go to cosmetology school. Randomly, it was a Thursday.
How many years ago was that?
This is going on 5 years ago, because you figure there was a year of schooling.
Okay.
And in that time of schooling, you know, my wife 100% held it down. That was where I was able to still function as a working person, but not actually work. But I was a full-time student.
Right.
You know what I mean? But how it all came about was it was truck day on a Thursday at Dollar General. And I'm just like, you know, beaten up. It's truck day. You know what I'm saying? You're limited associates. You're just trying to get by on the wage they were given to you was decent. So it was like, you know, I'll deal with it. You know what I mean? But randomly, just through inspiration, I always had people write down a quote on a board, right? Randomly. And the one chick wrote, "Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will." And that was just like, boom. Like, I just got in an argument with my wife. I need to go do this thing for schooling. I've been for possibly doing like the hair stuff. You know what I mean? It's been more triggering. And I'm thinking, man, if that's not true to form, like, I think it's time to just
sometimes life is like
the
trying to shake you,
right,
like,
right,
hey,
absolutely.
wake up. This is your sign, right?
Absolutely. Here's the answer.
Yeah.
Time to move. You know?
Yeah.
And randomly, it was a Thursday. The schooling started in like 2 weeks on a Tuesday. And I'm thinking like, well, you know, I'm probably not going to get in, but their enrollment happened to be down. So when I called, she said, "Hey, come in and take this test. We can get you in immediately." And I'm thinking like, okay, this is all working too well, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm 32 years old. I'm extremely nervous. I'm walking into an environment that I know nothing about, right? And it's just like, here, take this test. I take the test. I pass it with flying colors. But I was like, you know, nervous to actually take.
Well,
this.
it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
From retail to this is pretty much the service industry.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like customer service relation, you know, other than that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, no, it was crazy how that quote really changed perspective for me to actually go enroll, take the test, and, you know, within a week and a half, I was in beauty school. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys would go after the side of doing the barbering, but Cassell's offered a hair design program, and the hair design program was everything hair.
Right.
So now what it allowed me to do is only go to school for, you know, about 11 months and get back to making money. You know what I mean? And that was the grind, you know, and that was 11 months of putting it up and trying to do my best, you know.
Okay, and now this is a little off topic, but while you were going to cosmetology school, what was your weight? How much did you weigh then?
I was roughly, I believe I was around 433, 450 in that range.
Yeah. So you were telling us earlier something happened there. The same kind of like lightning bolt moment where everything changed. Go ahead and tell that story.
It was just like, you know, we randomly started to get on the floor, you know, and you go through all this time of learning bookwork, and then they finally put you out there with a client, and you're just like, you know, hitting the panic button. Like, uh-oh. You know? I'm this big dude that goes on the floor, and, you know, my presence is very well known because I wasn't little. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not hiding.
I wasn't hiding. There was no hiding.
Can't be the gray man.
No. So randomly we get out on the floor. I do this color service for this lady, and it's time to take her back and wash her. Mind you, I was already sweating the service. You know what I mean? But I truly finally felt like in my life for the very first time disgusted with who I was as a person. And it was because I'm washing this lady's hair, but I'm just sweating over top of her. And it was just like, that's pretty disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like in that instance of, you know, I don't know this lady. I'm taking care of her and trying to give her her best service. You know what I mean? So that was like very weird for me.
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Absolutely. It was literally that night I walked over to Planet Fitness and enrolled. And enrolling in Planet Fitness in 1 week, dude, I dropped 18 pounds.
That's insane.
It was, yeah.
Were you alone in that process, or did you immediately have support from somebody?
I think there was a little bit of both. You know what I mean? There was like underlying support where I already had the athletic side of my life. You know what I mean? I was all of 440, 450, but, you know, we went and played 8-10 games of basketball a week. You know what I mean? We played softball on the weekends.
Yeah, you were always an athletic big guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm kind of asking, like, did anybody say to you, like, I'm in, like, let's do it together, or did you go by yourself?
I was all doing it alone at the jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you start getting into it, you start like, you know, hey,
Finding buddies who work out.
Right, absolutely. But, you know, another thing was Planet Fitness allows you to have the black card. You can bring a friend. You know what I'm saying? You put that on social media. You got a different workout buddy, you know, every day in the week. But then you get one guy that's like, yo, I can go on the black card every day if I show up with him. And that was my buddy Bobby Getzy, and we went hard at the gym for all of like a good year and a half before he went into like more of like the free weight side of life, you know.
Okay.
Because Planet Fitness offers more of like the cardio aspects is good, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? The weight side of it is more, you know.
It's more to like stay in shape.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nothing to
Meathead.
go nuts.
But
Yeah.
You can't really, you know.
Do you think it would have been more difficult for you in this journey if you didn't have an athletic background?
I think so, because the coaching staff that we had in our life was just like, you know, we had guys that were in the NFL, guys that played pro ball, you know what I mean? But if you would meet my dad, my uncle, the guys in my family, if you stink in sports, bro, you're like disowned. Like, there's no chance.
So what would you suggest to somebody that's like in your position, they want to do it, but, you know, the gym might be scary to them because of, you know, some of the people that are in the gym are intimidating or whatever stereotype about the gym. They don't have an athletic background. What would you suggest to them?
It was a little tough for me at first because you know, it was like that moment, you know, that Cheers moment where everybody knows your name, but you're walking into something that nobody knows you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's just like, wow, you walk in and the girl behind the desk acknowledged me by my name, right? And I'm thinking like, well, that was kind of weird, you know? So this is like the first couple days in. So that was like triggering for me that the people there were acknowledging my presence rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somebody that maybe doesn't have the athletic side background, I would, you know, maybe challenge them to go after it a little differently, but it's more like fine-tuned to that person, you know what I'm saying? But I would say a lot of it is leading by faith, you know what I'm saying? Heavy prayer can get you to a certain aspect, you know? But a lot of it is mind over matter, you know what I'm saying?
So don't be scared.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough.
I think the biggest thing is a lot of the times, and even my wife, when she first started going, is you think everybody's looking at you.
Right.
Absolutely. Like if you don't know how to use a machine and you gotta look at the pictures first.
They are. They are looking at you, but they don't care.
Yeah,
that's
nobody
the thing.
cares.
Nobody cares. They are looking at you, but they don't care.
Unless you're doing something really crazy.
Well, I mean, it's weird that you guys say that, but I actually had an episode at Planet Fitness where this lady 100% was mad at me because I sweat too much. And I'm just like, yo, I come here to sweat. You know what I mean? Like, she turned around and went and told the management.
Oh my god.
That I'm over here sweating.
Well, there's always going to be an outlier.
I've never heard of a more ridiculous thing to complain about at a gym.
Dude, I honestly, man, it was like.
So change your genetics.
It was, you know, it was like a progression or regression in that moment for me though, because I was already so heavily into.
So that could have crushed you right there.
It did though.
Oh, it did.
It did, but it was like randomly I had like this outrage of support through social media because I've been very transparent with social media. So on that side of it, when I did have this progression versus regression moment in my life, I put it out there for everybody to feel my moment. You know what I'm saying? And in that aspect, we had over like 800 reactions on social media, and it was just like, you know, bro, you've come so far. You know what I'm saying? One little conversation should not change who you are in the mental aspect. You know what I'm saying? The physical aspect is changed. You know what I'm saying? It can be 100% somebody that's maybe negative Nancy and seeing you change your whole life, and then, you know, they're struggling to lose 3 to 5 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll say I'm completely different. I would have internalized it. I would have been like down for a little bit, and then I would have been like, I have to murder everybody.
Right. Well, so like that's kind of the way I work, but a little bit backwards. I went right into like I wanted to murder this person for like coming at me for using the ad machine and sweating too much, and I'm just like, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are crazy.
Absolutely.
Jeez. Even in Planet Fitness.
So let's go back to cosmetology school, and then you finished school. Was it always your goal to own your own shop, or did Whitney already have her own shop?
She helped a friend open her own shop.
Okay.
And then in those endeavors, it kind of opened a wave to understanding, we're both at that place. We're paying $1,200 a month for rent. You know what I mean? So at that aspect, you're thinking like, we can rent out a facility and have literally less overhead. You know what I mean? And at that point, we were just booth room. So it was just like, for me, I was very short term into that booth room. I was like roughly like 4 to 6 months before I'm like, we pay this much money, we can get a shop right here in Struthers that was $700 a month. You know what I'm saying? And that was our first rental payment as our own shop.
Yeah.
Putting a street sign and have our own storefront.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're like, well, the $1,200 a month that we were paying can carry right into bills. So it was just like, boom, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say that's one thing that kind of helped us click is just being business-minded and thinking of things in that perspective.
Right.
And that's where we kind of, you know, connected and have always talked about just rethinking things from a different perspective,
right,
to where now you're going to bring all that money in here instead of paying somebody $1,200 a month. I'd rather rent my own place for $1,200.
And you know what's nice about that is after you get into the side of owning your own building like we're at now and getting into the booth rental, you can then help other people within the facility. You know what I mean? To bring your friends in and give them a space and create this environment that is your vision. You know what I'm saying? The problem with the industry of cosmetology, barbering, hair design, it's never been changed. It's been the same format its entire span of how long it's been going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you get into the aspect of, I've always wanted to be innovative in my own, you know? So now we grow different opportunity here. Well, you know, I'm a big kid at heart, right? So to put a controller in a kid's hand and let him play the video game while he's getting a haircut is a no-brainer.
Yeah. So I was just going to touch on that. Some of the things that you have done here. Well, I'm staring at a big screen TV with Fortnite on it, and the kids love it.
Absolutely.
Like, I've been here with the kids, and I mean, you never heard a kid quieter than when they're getting a haircut.
Right.
They're just screaming.
Yeah.
You know, what's crazy is you learn different things, right? Because we got that PlayStation Now where it's 750 games. You pay $120 for the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 haircuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
4 haircuts, depending on
That
what you
pays,
That pays it off. You know what I mean? But now that gives us 750 games, games I would never go buy. And then who wants to, you know, keep changing discount for the kid? You know what I'm saying? But what happens is you start learning things like, if I put on a driving game, the kid's head tends to do like,
Yeah.
No, it actually tends to not move at all.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. So like coming from my era video game, I was thinking the shooting, you know, would be a little bit, no, but that makes them move more, get them a little more interactive. So that's where, if you're doing like, you know, the art designs that we do on the head, you want to put more of a different game on for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking maybe when we were young, the racing games, but the TV was so small, I think we were leaning to try to see get more TV.
And you know,
TV.
another thing is, back then you were only looking forward. You only had to drive forward. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a 360 view where you're just like all over it, you know? But
and from a marketing perspective, if I was a kid and I went to get my hair cut, first of all, just being a kid and going anywhere, your cousin's house or whatever, and they got a video game you don't have, the first thing you think about is, I can't wait to go back and play that game.
Right.
So having the kids asking to come get their haircuts to their parents,
it's a different,
it's a different ballgame.
Well, and that's why we don't, you know, I don't charge for kids from 0 to 3. And that's one, we want to create comfort for the kid, right? Mm-hmm. But then, you know, it may create longevity in the cut. You know, they might be that one baby that I still have that, you know, maybe I'll cut him for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? He'll never leave my chair. Or maybe one day he'll be cutting me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it creates such a different vibe in the aspect of a different environment. You know what I mean? But now you get the kids that are old enough to play the video games and they're like, yo, you like your haircut? And they're like, keep cutting more, I want to play. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, I'll keep cutting. Well, I got you for 30 minutes, but so it turns into, you know, the aspect of the interaction part. We are in-cut entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So that's different, you know? But we have a vision that is so further than just this. You know, we have a vision that we want to be franchised, and I want to be able to say, I'm only cutting 100 people a month. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the 400 that I'm hitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just creates the ability to understand that I know in my life, time is more important than money. You know what I'm saying? And when you can vibe out to understanding that money is not the end all be all, as long as my bills are paid and I got a little bit of food and stuff on the table, I'm good. You know
the more valuable you get, the more valuable your time is.
Absolutely.
A couple other things you have here that really like brings people in for me. The baseball chair is dope.
Yeah.
Every time I pull up, I'm like, I'm sitting in the baseball.
It's crazy because like, the kids that come in that come right to the chair, they'll get their hair cut and they'll go over to like grab a snack before they leave, and they're like, yo, I got like they jump in the baseball chair. They have to get in the chair.
Yeah, you got to.
Right. It was
it's
like
the coolest chair here.
Well, you know what? It was like, you know, when you go through the whole design and you knock every wall down and you go through the floor layout and you get to create your own vision, you start to realize you have a different part of that because your wife is telling you that you're not doing this, 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 and this. You know what I'm saying? So the basketball court was yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? The video games, way too noisy. You know what I'm saying? But then you start to create the vision, they see the vision, and everybody that was on the outside is like, wow, you know, I cannot believe they have created from, you know, my first month of cutting hair, I hit 60 heads, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm good. Like, but now, you know, my best month was right at Christmas. I hit 373 heads. You know what I mean? It was just like, that's the different side of growth. You know, we've created the old barbershop, beauty shop, hair design feel, and we've created our new entity, and you see explosion. You know what I'm saying? But we also are on the side of cosmetology. You know what I mean? Some of the people that work in this facility, we have 3 guys, 5 girls, you know. So one of the ladies here, she's 74, you know, and she's constant knocking stuff out. But, you know, what creates that moment is, like I had a kid in my chair and he's like freaking out and I'm thinking, oh, what's going on? Like he's just looking out the window, but he's freaking out. Why? Because his grandmother's getting ready to walk in the door. Well, guess what? They both didn't know they had service the same day. So he's just like excited to go get out of my chair and run and give his grandmother a hug. And now that moment was so pure and different for what is created here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Cool. Now they can come together. Now
absolutely.
they can share that experience.
But it
together.
also makes Grandpa wants to come in.
Yeah.
Uncle Bob, Uncle Bill, Uncle Frank, Uncle everybody.
Yeah, because they're telling their whole family about that experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Another thing is the basketball court. You mentioned it, but you have a full court.
Yep.
Outside, caged in.
Yep.
For the side.
For
facing the street.
Facing the street.
Yeah. You run leagues there.
64 by 32 feet, 64 foot long, 32 foot wide. It doesn't sound as big, but when you start running it, you're just like, okay, this is good, you know. And you know, from the experience of playing here, we were running the 44-minute quarters, and it was like a lot of interactive. But what it creates is guys from other facilities to show up here. You know, one of the hardest things to do is to bring in maybe a guy that is doing the same thing you're doing at his own facility but wants to come here and play in the basketball league, right? So you're actually bringing maybe somebody that has a different outlook than you know what I mean? But then they come in and see the vibe and you start networking, you know what I mean? And it creates, you know, more of a family function through physical activity, you know what I'm saying? But you find friendship in that. But then how many haircuts do we bring in because of having a basketball court, you know?
Oh yeah. And so if I was a kid, and my dad got their haircut while he rented out the court for me and my brothers or whoever, I wouldn't be able to wait to come here.
Right.
Honestly, you come, you play Fortnite, then you get to go out and chuck up basketballs for the next half an hour. Like,
I got like
dream come true.
It's fun. I'll tell kids, go hit the layup line.
Yeah.
But you know, that's where we have all the cameras here to allow the father to sit here and be able to watch the kid outside while he's getting a cut.
Making sure that everything's safe.
Yeah, that's nice.
Me and my wife come and shoot around when we drop shirts off. Like, this is it. I want to be here. I'm a big kid too. Like, absolutely. You know, I feel right in. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. No, it's a good time. And then we did that 3-point contest for Thanksgiving. You know? And that first year we did the 3-point contest, we had over 28 people participate, and we had
on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow. Yep.
Which is to peel people away from their morning. We had a ton of moms here.
Oh yeah.
So to peel them away from cooking and put their day on pause a little bit to come and enjoy the day with their sons and their daughters.
And you know, it was cool because I'm like avid Little League World Series guy. You know what I'm saying? So some of the vision plays forward in that work. You got, you know, I hit dingers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got those kids that come up and give their little spiel. So, you know, the morning of, we kind of did the same thing where they came in, sat down, you know, and gave, hey, what are you thankful for? And it was like crazily kind of emotional, you know what I mean? Because these kids come in and say the most candid things, and you're just like trying to laugh and be like a man behind the camera, and you're just like, you know, not to try to tear up a little bit.
Catching your heartstrings.
But the thing, you know, we had a kids division, we had a men's division, and we had a women's division. So to think, you know, we run that many, we had, you know, we gave out trophies, we gave out pies, people ordered shirts, you know what I mean? It was just a big event for the community.
Yeah, it was cool. Everybody had their own shirt. Every contestant had a different color shirt.
Yep.
And
Courtesy of All Day Ray.
Yeah. My wife won the women's.
She did.
Oh, did she win?
Yeah.
Yeah, we call
That's
her
cool.
3-point scary shooting Sherry. yeah. That's funny, but it's crazy to think that one moment of just like me being a big kid was the Field of Dreams, build it and we will come. You know what I'm saying? Was like All Day Ray and his wife showed up, but to think how much networking happened that day.
I just finished the Struthers Little League Association teams, all the baseball teams,
Right.
because of that 3-point contest.
Right.
I met a
Somebody
lady there,
there, yeah.
and I did a couple basketball jerseys for her, and then turned into the Struthers Little League. So
Yeah.
definitely, for sure, I met a ton of people, and like you said, you bring that community aspect to everything you do, really.
Right.
You know, everybody feels comfortable. Everybody's laid back. Even though it was a competition, everybody was friendly, chill.
Right.
You know, it was a good experience.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, but what's funny is like when you start putting and formulating the idea, you start having all this vision, right? But the next thing you know is like, wow, I was a big kid and didn't plan for manpower. I didn't plan for the functionality of it. But then you start thinking like, yo, I had to go buy 35 basketballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had 6 guys that showed up that morning that I didn't plan to help.
Organically. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think that's a testament to you and your personality and the way you treat everybody. And guys showed up.
Yeah.
Right. Guys
that
didn't even
plan
participate.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Johnny Bass. You know
Some
what I mean?
people, didn't even participate.
Right.
Just kept score,
Wow.
rebounded. Everybody there rebounded. And
Right.
Yeah, to help it run smooth.
Run smooth. Yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing. You know, I was mentally thinking all that. You know what I'm saying? But the side of the big kid was constantly taking over. You know what I mean? But when you do a contest like that, you want to be kind of its truest form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was like a fun side of like what the Fresh experience is creating. Not only a haircut, but we are creating entertainment for the community.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of that stemmed from being like, in 2020, I believe it was 2020. I was top 25 entrepreneurs from Mahoning County, right? So the Mahoning Valley Young Entrepreneurs. So in that time frame, they asked us when we were up there to continue to give to the community, right? So, as you're building your own space, you start thinking, how can I build something for the community? And that was providing a private rental,
Yeah.
And it's become like, in the first 2 years, it was a little expensive to build, but on the other side of, we've retained pretty much, I would say almost 75% of what we paid for it.
Mhm.
But now it's just to the point where it's just like so fun to have. It becomes more of a donation. And just give us a donation. Make sure somebody's out there watching the kid. You know what I'm saying? But that was that top 25 entrepreneurs of Mahoning County to say, continue to do something for the community. And that was a networking side where we continued to meet other people. But that was like randomly. That's how I met Terry Pitts from Planet Fitness. You know what I mean? So that was like a growing entity of, everything building, what I mean? Like you were saying earlier, how everything intertwined, you know what I mean? So that was just randomly how my weight loss started at Planet Fitness. Terry's running Planet Fitness, and all of a sudden Terry's now being top 25 entrepreneurs from Mahoning County as well. And you're just like, yo, what's up? You guys meet, but the crazy thing about with meeting Terry was there's not too many people I can say, yo, you're in my circle. You know what I'm saying? That dude's in my circle, you know what I'm saying? But that's where I was talking to Terry this morning, I would say the same with you know what I mean? So that inner circle is different on the side of growing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is like, a self-made type thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just getting to meet my buddy here, so no hate, all love, you know what I mean? But
basketball actually kind of brought us together. I'll tell a little story. I tell people this all the time. The first thing I say about you is Joe is unlike anybody I've ever met because this dude beats my drum like nobody else. He goes, if we're together and somebody comes up, he goes, do you need shirts? This is your guy. You need electrical? This is your guy. Like, there's people in my family that don't know how to do these things. And I had a guy call me and leave me a message, and I called him back, and he's like, yeah, I was at Dick's. And this guy popped out of nowhere and was like, hey, put that bat down. My buddy can get it for you cheaper. Call him.
it's so true.
Dude, I was like, this guy's stopping people at Dick's telling him, like, I got a guy for you.
Yeah, because he was like, Okay, so the bat side of life though is like we're such into sports, like if you're swinging, if it hitting 52, 300 softball, you want to use a certain bat. You know what I'm saying? So on that side of life, where this dude's getting ready to buy this kid, a Rawlings bat for $330, and you're like, bro. Put that back. Go buy your kid a DeMarini. Go see All Day Ray. Like I got you here. Look, I'm showing him your Facebook. And you know what I mean? But that's random.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So Joe orders basketball jerseys from me. I make the jerseys, and I tell people this all the time. He's like, make yourself one and come out and play on Saturday. And I'm like, are you sure? Never seen me play, has no clue. I would never, ever, in a million years, invite somebody to play on my team that I've never seen. Even when I invite people, if I'm short a guy for softball, I go, here's all the great players I know.
Right.
Here's all the good players I know. Here's all the athletic people I know. Here's all the people that play softball. Here's all the people that might play softball. Then it's like,
do not call.
Body. Yeah. A body. So essentially, I'm a body, and this dude's like, hey, come, make your shirt, come out and play. I play. He's like, come back every week.
Yeah. But Ray's a hustler, man. Ray hustles. He gets rebounds. Like, I would take Ray over Chachi and his other brother 7 days a week.
Put down the record.
Check it, bro.
I'm a high-functioning, terrible basketball player. That's what I tell people.
Yeah. But the 3-on-3 tournament out here, Ray goes down, steals it. I still got I can send it to you. I got it all on video.
Yeah.
Ray steals the ball, passes to Chachi. Chachi goes to make a layup. Or no, he goes to pull up a 3. And
finger roll layup, I think.
That was the second time. That was when you stole the ball down at the end of the court.
Okay.
But Ray dishes after we stole the ball to Chachi, and we only needed one. We only needed a bucket. We go by a point. He pulls up for the 3. We're thinking, oh gosh, there's like 4 seconds left in the game. He missed the 3 games over. Yeah. Ray steals the inbound, right?
Yeah.
After Ray steals the inbound, he does like a bounce pass to Chachi, and Chachi misses the finger roll.
Chachi's my brother. Chris get hurt for this.
Well, I've never seen a guy get thrown out so much on a base path either.
I'm gonna have to tell him to watch this one. He'll love it. He won't.
No, he's a great athlete. So
he is a good athlete.
He's a great
athlete. Okay, so coming back to the Fresh experience, did anything or anyone help bring this vision to life?
I think there was a lot. Obviously the passion and the conversation with my wife was obviously the growing side, and finding out and creating a layout that's different but also modern. You know what I mean? So we wanted to get something that was maybe 5 years more in advance than what was current then, So when we get to 5 years down the road, we're going to do a whole nother.
Yeah. I will say that's what this place looks like. When you walk in, I don't think you really expect what you're walking into, but the place looks super up to date and modern and just different.
Yeah. I mean, just to think of, we put a $25,000, well, actually roughly about, I think it was 34 to be accurate, about $34,000 renovation in the building, and that was knocking everything out, doing our own thing, and then on top of that, we painted the building, so it was like creating functionality and flow from not only the parking lot but into the building, so that was for a little while that was the different side of our building. We had to still paint the outside, you know what I mean? Yeah. So now that we've got all that done, we have more of a functional coming from the outside to the inside, But even like a little play on beauty is we put mirrored tint on the windows.
Yeah.
So when you're walking into the building, you're seeing yourself visually. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's already a play. You can stand behind the window and they can't see you, but you can see as they're walking in, they're checking themselves out, like doing the look, you know what I'm saying? So that's like, making them feel good before they even walk in. You know what I mean? But that's like, I'm thinking of people just walking to the door. You know what I'm saying? That's the vision. That was the flow of like, we want everything to be in tune, and that was like a huge part of it.
You talked a little bit off camera about sitting down and doing a business plan and how that helped. You want to?
Yeah, so I had to go take classes at YSU. It was a Small Business Development Corporation, and that allowed me to create a 3-year projection of the business. We were 2 years, 6 months in, right? A lot of these facilities, let's just say Mahoning Valley Economic Development Corporation at the time did not accept anything under 3 years. So you had to have a 3-year business plan to just go in and talk to these people, right? But I went in and was like, Kool-Aid man's here. Like, you know what I mean? I'm coming in to like drop this down and say like, this is my life. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to grow us. And you go in and you start getting these projections and taking these classes, and they turn around and take that to the MedVic, Mahoning Valley Economic Development Corporation, to say, this is what Joe's projected to do in his business. And then that is going to allow them to see if it's realistic or not, you know what I mean? Because they see numbers different, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So from that side of it, it was like, okay, you know, after the whole conversation was, you know, we're going to roll forward, it was, you have to come up with 10%. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, 10% of, you know, 100,000+ is like, you know, still a decent number, you know.
Decent chunk of change.
Absolutely. And that's for, you know, a blue collar dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm still like trying to, you know, find my path in all this, you know what I'm saying? So that's where working with them created more of a vision, it created more of a functionality of understanding and how we could move forward, you know? And
it set like a concrete path for you. Did that help you?
It was
really solidify your vision going forward.
Yes, it really allowed me to understand that this is very possible.
Because sometimes you have all these ideas and it can be overwhelming and you can almost be a little scatterbrained.
Yeah.
So I could really see how like writing those thoughts, I write everything down. I write down my phone. If I have a piece of paper, I write down things I need to do for the day. Just writing it down and seeing it helps me like lock in that idea.
Well, it's a visual check off, you know what I'm saying? That's the hard part of like, you know, our generation is we're used to pen and pad, you know, so sometimes we feel lost if we're not writing on a piece of paper. You know, but these new phones allow you to rate it in, you know?
Yeah, so I started writing stuff down again because I am so distracted by my phone. When I pick my phone up, and I'm even getting messages right now, like, I have to answer this, I have to go on Facebook Messenger and answer those questions. I have these red bubbles all over my phone, and then I never write it down. If I have a pen and a pad, like, it's down, nothing's distracting me from writing that down. So I try, I do. I keep a little like pad with me.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that was a lot of pen to paper work when I was sitting down with them. You know, I met Mario and Terry from MedVic, and Mario's beautifully bald human being, right? So I tell him he gets free haircuts anytime he walks in. And then Terry was with MedVic as well. He comes in and he's a client of mine now. But these guys go from seeing Joe sitting behind a chair, hearing probably hundreds of people saying, hey, give me money, give me money, give me money. And then I walk in and I'm like, yo, this is my vision. You know what I mean? So you go from having to create 10%, and they're coming in at their 40%, but we have to go to a bank for 50%, right? And we were choosing Chase Bank. You know, we network with them a lot, but that was where Chase was going to come on at 50%, right? So after we go through the whole grand scheme of this is the business plan, this is projection, this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they're like, yo, we're cutting out Chase. I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
I'm like, that was a huge moment to me.
That's a blessing.
Absolutely. It was just like...
And it's vindication for you and your idea.
Right. And it's just somebody that is on the other side of that to say, yo, we believe in this dude so much, like the vindication, we believe in this guy so much that we're going to come in at 90%, give us the 10%. But now our plan's based over 10 years. You know what I mean? So I'm all of a year in. You know what I mean? How do you win a monopoly? Properties.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we did. We bought a property.
Yeah.
And this was our, you know, first actual real estate investment, but this is also our life. You know what I'm saying? So that was where our monopoly moment kind of came out and was like, yo, Broadway. You know what I mean?
I joke, I have some property, but it's like the light blue sections of Monopoly.
Yes.
I got like Baltic Avenue.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see if we can flip that into something a little better, maybe Marvin Gardens or something. But let's go back to that vindication experience. So just for putting on like the 3-point contest, I do stuff like this too, to where I threw tournaments in the past and tournaments for charity, and it is so much work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's on a smaller scale. The business never stops.
No.
But moments like that, when you put in that work and you're climbing that hill and everything finally, like, you cash in, the tournament's over, or the 3-point contest is a success, like, just that feeling, it's almost like a little euphoria that keeps you pushing to do other things.
Absolutely.
And bigger and better things.
You're absolutely right. It just continues to know that the previous moment of being a store manager of Dollar General to reading a quote to going to class to building these moments says, yo, I was a 32-year-old dude that went to cosmetology school. The first day of class, they said French braid. I'm like, what the heck did I get myself into?
Yeah.
So you see all these moments growing forward, and then you're just like, yo, anything I want to do and put my mind to, I can do.
Yeah, because you're so battle tested.
Absolutely.
You go through all these little battles, and now when you set your mind to something, you're like,
I can do that.
I can do that.
Right.
I did harder stuff before.
Absolutely.
You know,
Right.
if I haven't done harder stuff, like if I did all that, I could do this.
Yes, and it just is those harder moments or the uncomfortable moment that create growth.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part of life is to say, it's uncomfortable, but I got to go for it.
I love that.
And that's
the growth mindset and constantly not being satisfied with just being stationary is, I think, a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to just relax, right? You have all this work to do, or you have so much to do, and you can get overwhelmed, and you could have two things. Like you can fight that being sleepy and tired and exhausted and just keep grinding, or you can like chill out and
It's that creating the good habit. You know what I'm saying? 21 to 30 days creates a good habit or a bad habit. You know what I'm saying? But I've been at the gym for 1,400 days where I wake up and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to go. But guess what? My mind got me there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had the best workout I had because my mind got me there. But my body said, don't go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was that time of I have pressed my mind so much that I've rewritten the software in my brain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a interchangeable drive. You know what I'm saying? That was a different hard drive that we downloaded to create new growth.
Yeah. Have you ever read Atomic Habits or listened to it?
No.
That's a great book. They talk about, one thing that sticks out in my mind is, he says, you try to get 1% better every day.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if you change the degree of an airplane going from LA to New York, if you only go a mile, you're not going to see any difference in that flight. But over the course of that length of time, you could end up, if you were shooting for New York, you could end up in Maine. Like just that constant climb.
Right.
If you're just increasing what you can do every day by just the smallest margin.
Right.
If you could just wake up today at 5 a.m., if you could just push yourself a little bit harder, if you do one more rep at the gym, like just keep building, keep growing.
Yeah, it's a constant, and that's the continuation of finding different ways to play part in the community. You know what I mean? One of the things that we actively have going on right now, we have just a little bit over a month time, is my brother's bowling tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like
So how many years is this? Third?
So
Fourth?
10th.
10th?
Yes.
Oh my God. I've only been around for a couple of years.
Yeah, right. But it's the 10th year is a scholarship benefit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that's a continuing growing thing. That's something that gives the family, from a situation of heartache, to allow you to celebrate him one day in the year. You know what I mean? Because normally when someone passes away, you don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So you could still have it in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But to actually have your family, have everybody come together for a day that's for your brother is more in a found passion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the first 8 years of the bowling tournament, I didn't want anything to do with it. I was down and out. I didn't want to bowl in it. I just wanted to go show up, see my friends, see my family, and leave for the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mom, my dad, my uncles, good friend Dino Frazzini, they all run the bowling tournament. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want anything to do with it. But over the last year, going back to the bowling community, I found more ambition to want to be around that, But that just shows the side of how you can be down and out from stuff when it comes to, loss. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the things, we've created this way to celebrate my brother with the bowling tournament.
Yeah, the scholarship. And was last year the biggest?
Last year was the biggest year other than the first year.
Okay.
The first year, was huge because...
We anticipated it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, the worst part of the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's impressive. The 9th year being,
But that was the year I took over.
Bringing it back. And,
right. And, with taking that over, it was more of like the side of... we created more of a visual social media side. Okay. So when you have more of a social media layout and people can see it from that aspect, it creates a different growth that way too.
Let's talk about your social media presence. Have you seen a huge jump in clients.
Yeah,
Is that correlated to your business? Like, I know you do post on social a lot.
Yeah.
And have you seen more clients because of it?
Yeah, we figure the whole weight loss was a huge aspect. But then you think the business page from start of day one, you start with nobody. You start with the only people you can send the invite to, right? So you start with a growing side of that. But to think from day one, having only the people you can send it out to that want to follow you and believe in you, to now we're up to like 3,700 followers in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So to think that you create that kind of outlook just locally is cool, man. You know what I mean? It's a vision. It's a there's Facebook posts constantly out about you. It's a mommy and masterminds Facebook groups that us guys couldn't get on because we're not mommies. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the one lady will say to me. You're not a mom. You can't get on it. I get it. But she'll pull it up for me to say, look, you just put in your name, and there's like
all these posts about you.
A ton of posts, and you're just like. Cool. But then you see the one person that's laying on the ground underneath the shelf over there taking a picture because you're like, whoa, how'd they get that angle? It's just like, you've never seen this photo before, But that's like, you see that side of it. So it's just, we created a different way for people to feel comfortable here, And that was like, mothers come in with their kids and they're like, they'll come in, multiple times down the road and be like, my kid goes right to the dentist and jumps in the chair. And they're just like, I don't even know why or how he's so comfortable, but I think it's because you've kind of created that for him. Mm-hmm. But that's the growing side of a 0 to 3 year old kid that doesn't pay for a haircut. It's just a tip. You know what I mean? You come in here, you start to grow, and you see that. But they feel that also.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go back to the fresh experience. Let's go a little bit into the future. What is the future vision? You talked maybe a little bit about franchising.
Yeah, my vision is so big that I don't necessarily want to give that energy to everybody at this point.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that vision is more of I can't wait to help. I can't wait till it to happen. It's a seed in my head that I'm trying to water. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, you would see the physical and all the growth from it. You know what I mean? So, but it is thinking like just a little bit to talk slightly about it. It is maybe partner up with other.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about it.
It's just
okay. You'll have to watch and find out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so the business page is Joe Fresh. It is one word. My personal Facebook page is Joe Love. My last name being Lovell, so Joe Love, Love.
Yeah.
My Instagram is Joe Love 904. September 4th is my birthday. You know what I mean? So everybody trying to crack codes.
The fresh experience on Instagram too?
It is just Joe Fresh 904.
Okay.
Just because it's more of like, I try to leave that for my own personal life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, there's a different aspect of social media now where like I'm getting into the age of like kind of looked at as an old man, right?
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch, falling asleep, sitting up, But it's just like Instagram's more of a younger generation, more of a hip. Facebook is more of a like interactive for older people. Like a lot of the young people that come in here, they're like, oh, we like Facebook. You know what I mean? So that's where it's getting more interactive within those social medias, Instagram, and having to create that more of a business outlook. And our new endeavor is trying to touch around and play around with TikTok. You know what I mean? But
they do say your post for Facebook should not be your post for Instagram, should not be your post for TikTok, should not be your post for LinkedIn.
Right.
Like, you should try and find new content for each.
Absolutely.
Because they're all different facets. They're all reaching a different brand.
And that's, and I constantly look at different entities. You know what I'm saying? One of the coolest things that I've been able to do is in this realm of life, after graduating, I've been able to go back and give men's cutting classes at Casellas. So when you go do that, you get to give a different wave, Mm-hmm. So that alone creates, more outpouring, crying, support to give and create new, you know what I mean? So even that alone is a different side.
That's a nice opportunity.
Yeah.
You go almost touch somebody that, like, I always try to be the person that I was looking for, maybe as like a young kid. I play with like my little cousins or whatever. I want to be that presence that if I was in those shoes, what I would be looking for. It'd be nice to, you were in those shoes at one point. You would have rather somebody come in and say, hey man, you can get through this. Like,
absolutely.
I know you're nervous right now, but you stick with it, you'll be okay.
Right, and in my weight loss, it was, I would go on social media and I'd see guys' social media of like losing weight, and I would say, yo, how did you do that? You know what I'm saying? And then it would be like crickets. You wouldn't hear anything. And you're just like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't that guy or so-and-so give me maybe a little attention or peace of mind to say, here's a growing, building moment for you? You know what I mean? I can show you in my phone, I've talked to people all over the world because my story has been able to travel, you know what I mean? So on that side of it, I made sure that if I get a message, I never leave it blank. I never let it go, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's a hard conversation where the one dude was telling me like his sleep apnea, you know, this number might be wrong, but I think it was like up around 130 sometimes a night where the dude was like not breathing, you know what I'm saying? Right, and he said it was like extremely severe, but then, you know, you got to be a little more like, you know, hey, your body's talking to you, bro. Like you're.
Yeah, you gotta start that movement, right? You gotta maybe if you dropped a couple lbs and you sleep a little better, it'll help you work out more. You know, like the hardest thing is to get that ball rolling.
Yes, absolutely. But I wanted to make sure I was never going to be the guy that was the guy to me that didn't respond.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where it's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. The people that you're just like, I cannot believe I'm talking to a guy from New Mexico about my weight loss.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm talking to this guy from California about skin removal surgery.
You went viral, right?
Well, ish. You know what I'm saying?
How many views did your video get? Unofficially.
Like 10 or 11.
Million?
Well, you know, it was big, but
it was a couple 100,000, right?
Yeah, it was up there.
What platform?
Facebook. Yeah. And it was just, that's where it was crazy to think, you know, just that. And I was like, I created all that for my cell phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was like the moment where, you know.
I mean, the story's epic.
It's crazy, man. It really is. But it's just a testament to say that, you know, determination, dedication, and faith.
Yeah. So, like, imagine all those people that you touched. If even 1% you change something in 1% of the, you imagine how many people that is?
Oh, it's crazy. You know, it's random.
And 1%'s not a lot.
I know, but you know what's crazy about it is like I feel that I'm blessed with the side of living in it because people come talk to me about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have guys that come up to me at the gym all the time, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I never display the thought of like, dude, I just want to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never give them that because more times than most, I'm kind of like wanting to get into my workout. But there's times I'll walk into the gym and I'm usually there for a good hour of cardio and maybe a half hour, 45-minute lift to maybe an hour. But that's where I'll go in there. I'll have guys come up to talk to me for all of an hour. And I'm just thinking like, I just want to get into my lift. But then you start thinking on the backside.
Maybe they need this.
They need that. You know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, he'll talk about weight loss. I got guys that come that, or you find just the accountability not in now. You know what I mean? I don't even know their name. You're just like, yo, what's up, dude? You know what I'm saying? But then you randomly are eating out at dinner and you see them. And, you know, it turns into like, hey, what's up? Let me send them a drink. You know what I'm saying? It just creates familiar face. It creates familiar accountability in people you don't even know.
Yeah.
You know? But it's wild. It really is.
Okay, we're gonna close things up. So we'd like to talk a little bit about you at the end of it. Do you have a locked-in routine? Do you get up every day at the same time? Like, go through your routine a little bit.
So normally, I mean, when I first started, I was usually a 5 a.m. workout guy, 6 a.m. workout guy. I like getting to the gym, but when it's dark. You know what I mean? That was like a big, weird passion of mine. I don't know why. But it's transferred into, after being into it for 1,400 plus days now, I'm set into my own, where I create my own schedule for my own living. I can do and work as much as I please. So it's created a way to, I hit the gym about 8 a.m. every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually there 6 to 7 days a week. It's just a constant go. You know, my hair cutting is, I cut 75 people to 100 people a week. So it's, you know, my routine is pretty much the same, you know, daily. It just, you know, time variant. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have like an absolutely, how do I want to say this? Like shut off point where you're not answering your phone at a certain time. For me, I try to disconnect, put my phone down, watch at least an episode or two with my wife or my dog at the end of the night. Where like,
I gotta work more on that. You know what I'm saying? Finding that balance, because, you know, I read a quote a long time ago, and it was like talking about rather not work 40 hours for somebody else, but you're working 80 hours
for yourself.
Yeah, something like that. But that's where I'm just like, man, it is so true, you know? Like, we got cameras on this place, so when I do go out of town and on vacation, I can still check in on the place. You know what I'm saying? Through my cell phone. But it's just like, it never stops. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, I'm
well,
out.
this is you.
Absolutely.
This is an extension of you.
Absolutely. My grind is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, a lot of guys that come in, my buddy Ken Cock will tell me, bro, you're built so different. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know many people like you. The way you go hard. I go hard to exhaustion to where I'm literally like the old dude like this on the couch. And I used to make fun of my dad for sitting on the couch, sitting there falling asleep. You know what I
I
mean?
fell
That was
asleep
you.
on my couch the last like 4 nights.
Sitting straight up.
TV's on. Like,
Yeah, sitting straight up. You know, it's funny, we bowl on Thursday nights. And, you know, the one week, I'm like, I left early from work. I'm like, I can go home, take a shower, relax for a second. I go home, sit down on the couch. I wake up, look at my phone. I'm like, yo, it's like 10 minutes after practice already started. You gotta go, bro. But I literally, old man did, fell asleep on the couch. But you know, that's, I mean, I guess it's just go till you crash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, do you have an author or a podcast or any influencer that you have moved, that has moved you, or you listen to anybody? Do you?
So I find a lot of inspiration on Above Inspiration. It's YouTube, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I found a lot of love in that side of it.
Okay.
A good friend of mine, Terry Pitts, just wrote a book that I'm currently swifting through to read and have that outlook. But you know, the second side of that is like you're reading somebody's vision for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you find love in the aspiration of him going after it. You know what I mean? So when you find that, it's already becomes a favorite. You know what I mean? It can be like Dr. Seuss, you know what I mean? Or it could be like Edgar Allan Poe, you know what I'm saying? It can be like the craziest of the crazy, you know what I'm saying? It can be whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's the side of inspiration. Above Inspiration's huge, and then like I said, I'm getting ready to read Terry's book.
What are some of your hobbies outside of work?
Outside of work, I love tanning, I love hitting the gym, and I love laundry. No, I love kayaking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you like golfing, you'll like kayaking because you don't have to go find your ball. It's not lost, you know what I mean? You're just rolling down the river.
Yeah.
So I do like that. I am big
You
in
do
all
golf?
sports. I do golf. Every
Bowling?
sport, bowling, you know what I mean? I got 5 300s. No hole-in-ones, you know what I mean? I like to hit the long ball in the softball field, but anything sports related, I'm in for, you know what I mean? But I mean, my routine's pretty much the same, you know what I mean?
Okay. Hit that quote one more time. I asked you earlier what your favorite quote is.
Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will.
Okay, write that down.
Yeah.
And
that's
then,
it.
what's your spirit animal?
A lion.
And why?
I got a tattoo on the back of my leg. It's like an unpopular, you know what I'm saying, like a very popular leadership, most importantly, you know what I'm saying. The lion finds itself being more of a leader, you know what I mean, but it can get into the side of like, you know, visually, you may not be looked at the best from everybody and everybody's eyesight, you know what I'm saying. It's just taking that on with grunt force, you know what I mean, and taking the growing moment, no matter what it is, good or bad, and delivering, you know what I'm saying. So that was more of the leadership side of life.
Okay.
And then, you know, I find myself constantly in a leadership role. And it's not even by like choice. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, start getting on this softball team. I'm like,
Yeah.
the dude in left field can't even catch a fly ball. Like, can we get Ryan out of left field right now? But that's where it's just like that side of like, you know, you get into
Some people, yeah, you
You
start
just-
to experience, some groups are like just begging for somebody just to stand up and be
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, you know, we have enough.
right,
You know, or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah, I constantly find myself in a leadership role. You know what I mean? But that's I think that's where the line comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could tell you about dreams and stuff too. But, but also, I mean, to think of like being in a leadership role, like being on the side of Father Fresh, an ordained minister that cuts hair. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my friends call me Father Fresh now. It's like really weird. But I've done 7 weddings. You know what I mean?
Yeah?
And it was just by my friend asking me to do it, but it's allowed me to like find faith differently. It's allowed me to grow closer to God. It's allowed me to like, you know, officiate weddings in this realm of life where I never thought I'd participate.
Yeah, that's
You know
a
what I
pretty
mean?
wild
That's cool.
adventure.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, bro.
All right, well, thank you for being part of this.
Absolutely, man.
thanks.
Heck yeah.
We'll have you on again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm down. I'm always down.
All right. One more time, is there anything else you want to plug? Is there the
All Day
tournament?
Ray Electric, All Day Ray shirts.
When's the bowling tournament again?
So we have the community event is May 6th. This is the first time we're opening it to a community event. So May 6th, 6:30, you could go to Hall A Bowl in Struthers, Ohio, and participate in the 9-pin no tap tournament. That is
That's on Friday?
That is a Friday.
Okay.
And then the proceeds for that will go to benefiting my brother's tournament on Saturday, right? Saturday is for sanctioned members of the US
Saturdays for real.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, these guys are no joke.
Yeah,
I bowled in it last year. These guys ain't playing.
Ray said he's coming to the 9-pin this year.
Yeah,
but you know, that's the side of, you know, building it and people will come. It's just been a constant growth, but that's where when we opened it up to the community this year, the idea with this though is like we haven't put it out there, but this is the vision, is we want to make this a successful event the day before because we want to carry my brother's name into another high school this year.
Okay.
And that would be like if we make $500 from the night of Friday, that is going to now be a scholarship for a different school that we can use for high school. You
and
know
now
what I'm
just
saying?
branching out, building that community even bigger.
Absolutely, and that's the goal, man. You know, we started here in Struthers for the last 10 years, and this is the first year where we can say, hey, let's get other schools involved. Let's get youth.
This is the 10th year?
Yes. Well, you know, it's, and another thing that's slightly different in a lot of tournaments than my brothers is normally kids and youth bowlers, high school bowlers can't bowl. We have a smart account that's directed through the USBC that allows youth and high school kids to participate.
Awesome.
Right. So that is like, you know, huge. Imagine just like me being able to just go not win a tournament, but know that I'm bowling against my dad. If I beat him, I got bragging rights. But, yeah,
and if they wanted to book the corp, how they book the corp?
Come get a haircut. Find the
Talk about it.
You'll find the donation side of it. We do have a Square site that allows people to book off of it, but the vision is to get it to more donation based.
Okay.
Not everybody can afford $45 rental. You know what I mean? For that's for the nighttime price because we have lights out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So normal rental is $25. You know.
Yeah, if you want to pull a highlight, that's a little extra. It's $15 per highlight. If you want to pull it off the security cameras.
Or if you want to make a rap video.
Yeah, that's happened.
That's happened. Yes. For real.
All right, that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah.
That was a great episode, and we'll see you real soon. We got our next guest here on deck, and we'll hit you with him maybe next week, right?
Yeah, that works.
Maybe a couple days.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks.